Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back. The channel is exploding recently. I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and over the last 3 months, I have been strength training 3 times a week. And no, this is not going to be a story of a skinny guy going to be completely jacked. As you can see, it might look to you like I haven't changed at all, but I can assure you I've changed a little bit and I have gotten a lot stronger. So I'm going to share with you how I gained some weight and I gained some strength at an average pace over the last 3 months. So coming into this challenge, I had not lifted a weight in over 6 months. And now that I think about it, over the last 10 years, I haven't been to the gym consistently at all. So why did I start working out again? I want to say that it's because lifting weights is a great exercise and it's good for our health. It's good for our heart. It's good for our brain. And I wish I could say that that type of honorable motivation was the reason why I started lifting weights again, but it was not. The main reason is because I saw a bunch of friends when I went back to Canada and they were all unanimously concerned at how skinny I was looking. Hey, you're small. What happened to all your muscle? Did they feed you over there? Bro, what happened to all your muscle? What happened? It wasn't like that at all, but I was weak, and I especially noticed this playing softball. I couldn't hit the ball as far as I normally could. I wasn't hitting a lot of home runs or triples, and just that clout of hitting home runs, I missed it. My little brother, on the other hand, was hitting at least 2 per game. So to see him just destroying the ball, that was some little extra motivation for me as well. So this is what I looked like last June before I started lifting weights. And apparently before I knew what a haircut was. Now, this body that you're looking at, it's perfectly normal and healthy, but it's just not what I was used to. And compared to what I normally look like, I looked frail and weak here. To anybody out there watching this that has this type of body, a little bit skinnier, not as much muscle mass, I'm not trying to say that I didn't like my body this way. I just wanted to get a little bit stronger and put on a little bit more mass. That's all. So there's a very popular beginner's workout called Starting Strength by Mark Ripto that I've known about for ages, but I've never actually looked into it, and I felt that this is the perfect opportunity to give it a try. So I grabbed a copy, I started to read it, and I realized something apparent right away. I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Well, I wouldn't be able to do it exactly as it is described. The reason is because this program calls for heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, and heavy power cleans, all of which require a good amount of flexibility in order to perform the exercise properly without risking injury. And my flexibility is probably in the bottom 1% of people. This is me standing straight up, and now I'm going to bend over and try to touch my toes. Just stellar. Absolutely amazing flexibility. All right, my flexibility is a little bit better than that, but it's not good enough to perform these exercises properly. If I try to do low bar squats, my wrists and shoulders feel like they're gonna jump out of their sockets. If I try to do a high bar squat, my ankles restrict the movement, so I can't get down far enough, and a lot of the load goes into my lower back. The same thing goes for deadlifts. When I bend over, I just don't have the hamstring flexibility to get down far enough in a strong position. I end up having to kind of curve my back a little bit, and I know that's terrible for lifting heavy weights. That's an easy way to get a spine injury. And then power cleans are an insanely difficult athletic movement that, because of everything else I've mentioned so far, is just not a good idea to start doing right away. So what I did was I modified the workout a little bit. I worked out 3 days a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, doing 3 sets of 5 reps for bench press, pull-ups, shoulder press, and barbell rows. Now, I still did squats and deadlifts, but I did them with body weight or very, very low amounts of weight, and I didn't keep track of them in my workout journal. So I did get more flexible over this 3 months of training, and I probably did get a little bit stronger in those heavy compound lifts of squats and deadlifts, but you're not gonna see that progress here. So the first lift I did in pretty much every single workout was the bench press. Are they coming in? I can't really do the Terry Crews thing, but I'm literally trying right now. Little movement. Not too much though. That was weird. In my first workout back on July 17th, I did 115 pounds for 5 reps. Within a month of starting, I was at 135 pounds for 5 reps. And then over the next couple of months, I kept improving, I kept growing, and now I'm at 165 pounds for 5 reps. Which is, it's unreal progress. I wasn't expecting that amount of progress in this short amount of time, but this is exactly what somebody would call novice gains or newbie gains. It's well known that beginner lifters increase their strength very quickly in the beginning. Those first couple of months, you can grow fast, especially if you've lifted weights in the past before, like I have. A lot of what I was doing was recuperating what I gained in the past, and my body was just getting used to lifting again. This is a graphical representation of my 1 rep max. So as you can see, it's not linear growth. There are steep increases followed by flat lines. And that's because the 1 rep max is calculated only by the best set that you perform in a given workout. And because of that, you get a graph that looks like this, where while it seems that I'm not improving for long amounts of time, I actually am every single workout. But I'm only moving up weight every 2 to 3 weeks, when I can finally do 3 sets of 5 for the given exercise. So over the 2.5 months, I increased my strength by 50 total pounds on the bench press, which ends up being about 5 pounds every single week, right? 1, 2, 50. I think I should ask my niece. So pull-ups. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I'm trying to learn a muscle up. So I've been doing pull-ups for quite a long time. Before I started this weightlifting challenge, I'd been doing pull-ups for about 6 weeks beforehand, from about June 1st until July 15th. And during that time, I went from 2 to 10 pull-ups. Again, because of newbie gains. And then when I started going to the gym, I stopped doing bodyweight pull-ups and I moved to doing weighted pull-ups because that's the only way I could add enough weight to do sets of 5. So if you take a look at the graph, you can see I took a couple of weeks off here in early September, and that's because I injured my shoulder playing softball. And when I got back to it, I moved up in weight almost immediately. And right now I'm pulling 220 pounds for 5 reps, or about 100 kilograms. But no, I do not weigh 220 pounds. I weigh about 195 pounds and I add a 25-pound weight to the chain. So there was not as much progress with the pull-ups as there was with the bench press. And the reason is because I've kind of gone through that newbie gains time already, right? I was doing pull-ups for 6 weeks beforehand, and that's when I increased a ton. But progress is going to slow down a little bit after that. Also, I injured my shoulder and I still ended up seeing progress, so I'm very, very happy with what happened. So next we have shoulder press, and this one I was very, very surprised at. So I started off pressing 55 pounds or 25 kilograms for 5 reps in July. At the end of August, I was up to 90 pounds or 40 kilograms. Then I injured my shoulder. So coming back from a shoulder injury and doing a shoulder exercise, what would you expect to happen? Obviously a decrease in strength, right? But I didn't see that. I saw an increase in strength, and that blew my mind. But looking back, it does make a lot of sense because I was doing bench press at the time, I was increasing in weight, I was getting stronger, and one of the muscles worked in the bench press is your front delt, which ends up being a prime mover in the shoulder press. Hey, I'll take it. And lastly, we have rows, which are a little bit all over the place. I started off at 100 pounds or 45 kilograms for 5 reps. I steadily increased for a while, and then I moved to seated rows and dumbbell rows for a little bit. I don't know why. I think I was just getting sick of using a barbell so much. So I don't have any records in this middle area here, but I was still increasing in strength. And you can see that because when I came back to barbell rows, I increased in strength, and now I'm at 165 pounds for 5 reps. I thought that adding in rows to my workout was a decent alternative to deadlifts. Obviously, it's not working out your legs as much or your lower back per se, but it is working out a lot of the upper back and the lats. So over the 2.5 months that I was working out up until this video, I've seen some pretty good progress that I'm very happy with. And the interesting part is I've missed quite a few workouts. I would say every 2 weeks, I should be going 6 times a week, but I go 5 times a week. So I miss one every couple of weeks. And sometimes I even get to the gym, start to work out and think, I just don't feel good right now. I'm gonna skip the workout for today because my body just needs a little bit more rest. Sometimes I don't get enough sleep and I just decide not to go at all. So I'm not perfectly consistent, but I am going enough times to see growth. Now in the situations that I just mentioned, a lot of people would give advice to just slug out the workout, to go and get it done and get through it because in the end, it will be worth it. And I totally disagree with this mentality for a beginner who's not into lifting as a sport and doesn't do it for their job. I'm talking strictly for somebody who's just getting into working out. And I talked about this in my running video where I'm full in on intrinsic motivation and enjoying the moment while you're doing something. If it starts to become a chore, you're gonna start to hate it and you're not going to want to continue doing it. Now this has been my own personal experience, and I have had a chance to learn about this more anecdotally with my students, and a lot of them have noticed the exact same thing. If you start to force yourself to do something when you don't really want to do it that much, your motivation is going to go like this. Now at the same time, you have to be honest with yourself and maybe try to figure out why you're not motivated to do the thing right now. Why don't you want to go to the gym right now? Take a bit of time to introspect and figure out what is going on. Because if you're always going to hate going to the gym and you don't really want to go at all, then you need to figure out your why. There's 2 ends to the spectrum and there's that healthy middle. Man, I sound like my mom. But it is true. And if it happens every once in a while where you're just not feeling up to it, then listen to your body and don't push yourself too hard. Get the relaxation that you need. Right now I'm on a rest week and I'm gonna get back into the gym, starting off with a new plan. I didn't particularly like doing 5 reps of an exercise. I wanna focus a little bit more on hypertrophy now. So I'm gonna be using Jeff Nippard's Fundamentals of Hypertrophy program for 8 full weeks, and I'll be back with the results before the end of the year. Right now, I'm really enjoying lifting weights. I feel like I'm very committed to it, and it's because I am focusing on enjoying it. Right. So this is what I looked like after the 2.5 months of lifting weights. Now it doesn't look like a huge difference, but keep in mind I was not focusing on hypertrophy at this time. I was focusing on strength. That's why I was doing sets of 5 instead of sets of 8 to 12. Despite that, you can see a little bit more muscle and, unfortunately, a little bit more fat as well. I was probably eating too much. There's just something about knowing that you're trying to build muscle, so you want to eat everything in sight. But it's not a big deal. I think I look a lot better than I did before, and I'm ready for the next challenge. If you want to see how much progress I make over the next couple of months on Jeff's program, then definitely subscribe, comment down below, like the video, and you'll be able to see those results before 2020. All right, see you later. Bye.